Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Stylosa, and yeah, I kind of made a mistake here. So I went onto Twitter and said, oh, you know what? I think Overwatch is in a really good place right now. And I actually kind of do. The mistake, I think, is reading the comments. But then actually, is that a mistake? Because what I think is really super interesting with all of this is seeing the reaction from people when it comes to the balance and the current state of Overwatch. And I honestly think this is more deeper rooted than simply, I like the meta, I don't like the meta, my hero's been nerfed, or my hero has been buffed. In fact, I'm more inclined to believe that the problem is Overwatch 2. Yeah, so you're probably wondering, why do I think Overwatch 2 is the problem, and it's causing people to hate on Overwatch 1 in a certain kind of way? Well, I think it just straight up comes down to the fact that Overwatch 2 was announced in November back in 2019. And that's all well and good, and it's fine. We now know the game is under development. The issue is, it looks from the outside that, yeah, very much Blizzard have just forgot about Overwatch. Now, they haven't. There have been a lot of balance changes, and we've obviously got to commend Blizzard for the speed at which they are balancing the game. Pretty much every 2 weeks, there's a major balance update which goes into Overwatch and does address a lot of the massive issues. Like, we had very strong double barrier meta, so they came in and they tried to address that, which is really good. And actually, I think they have, and I think the game right now is in a pretty decent place. And the reason for that is, well, I sort of think that Overwatch is... there's a lot of versatility right now. Now, granted, it is at the start of a meta, so we don't actually know what's going to settle and which heroes are going to be sort of the go-to picks. But right now, it feels like you can play heroes based on what map you're going on. So if I'm going to play tanks and we load into Watchpoint Gibraltar, then I probably am going to play Winston or D.Va because I need the verticality. Whereas if I load into, let's say, Nepal, then I'm going to want more of a brawly kind of tank selection. So I might pick Roadhog, I might pick Reinhardt, I might pick Zarya, or even Orisa if we're playing on Nepal Sanctum. And I think that is a really healthy direction for the game. However, let's bring this all back and let's take it back to Overwatch 2. Now, we look at the content we've been given for Overwatch this year, and it is kind of lacking. Yes, okay, we've had balance updates. They're fine. We like balance updates. But balance updates are not exactly new content. It's just fixing issues with the game, and that's fine. You expect that to be happening all of the time. But what you also expect is new content being plugged into the game. Now, we got Echo this year, which, you know, she was a fantastic hero. It sounds, or even it feels like Echo came out years ago. Because remember, Echo came out in March, and that was, well, that was the start of lockdown and Corona and all of that stuff happening in the world. So it feels like a very long time ago. That's not to say that that's an excuse. It's just totally not. But to me, it feels like a long time ago. So yeah, we got Echo. We got seasonal events. We got new skins. Okay, we got a couple of these mini challenge events. Of course, right now we've got the Tracer event going, which I do think is a fun event. Now, I think a lot of people were taking out of context what I said on Twitter about this, where I said, hey, it's a super fun event. It is a super fun event. I know it's just win 9 games. It's not really, there's not an event to it. But what I really like about it is the fact that we've got the comic, which is the start of a 5-part series, which we're going to get every single month, which is lore. So, I mean, we can't say no to that. Okay, it is based on Tracer. Tracer is the face of Overwatch. There's a load of heroes out there with literally 0 lore. I'm looking at you, Zan. You know, heroes like that are just totally neglected. And yeah, again, it's another Tracer event. But we've got Tracer, and we've got a skin, which actually is a really good skin. For an epic level skin, that skin is phenomenal because it's got tons of detail on it. It's got custom voice lines when you melee, custom voice lines when you load into the game that are linked into the lore in the comic. It's just fantastic, and I really love to see that. But that's it. That's all we've got this year. So when I come back to looking at the responses of people to the tweet I made, and just generally looking around at what you guys feel right now, it is the state of Overwatch. It is kind of depressing because even though the game is in a really good place, loads of people have basically burnt out on the game. And I'm absolutely one of those, right? I've made content on this game for over 5 years now, which is incredible to think about. Way back when the original trailer was shown off, I think it was like back in 2015. That's when I made my first video on Overwatch, which is just crazy to think about. Of course, obviously, I picked it up in like 2016 and started making loads of content, and we are where we are today. I love the game, and I think all of you guys love the game if you're watching this video. But there are issues, right? So let's really analyze what happened with Overwatch 2. Because Blizzard completely messed up the announcement of this game. And I can only suspect there are underlying forces which have made them do this. Because I don't think Blizzard really wanted to come out and go, hey, we're working on Overwatch 2. By the way, we're not making any more content for Overwatch 1. And we're not even going to talk about Overwatch 2 until next BlizzCon, which of course is cancelled this year and we believe is going to happen in January 2021, which is literally the worst kept secret I've seen ever when it comes to Blizzard. So yeah, but that means it's more than a year of just zero Overwatch 2 news. That cannot ever have been the plan for Overwatch 2. Think about what they've got here, right? And think about what we're doing as gamers playing Overwatch. We play the game, we want new content, we want new heroes, we want new maps, we want new story, we want new stuff. We know that's not going to happen because they're working on Overwatch 2. But why are they not showing us bits and pieces of Overwatch 2's development? Why are we not getting, like, here's a look at the latest design of Zenyatta from Overwatch 2, or here's a look at Soldier 76's new design? Because we know they're redesigning all the heroes. They must have got some of these finished by now. Why are they not showing them off to us? Also, why are they not giving us bits of information on maybe where the story's going for Overwatch 2, instead of focusing on everything which has happened in the past, which is what is kind of happening now? Also, why are they not, like, I don't know, changing the seasonal events? One of the things that I really would have liked to have seen would have been this year that the seasonal events for Overwatch all become lore events which build into Overwatch 2's launch. So we know that every event there's going to be the story moving forward, something happens, we're moving closer to Overwatch 2. But none of that happened. Now, I can't honestly believe that Blizzard sat there and thought, it'll be a good idea if we announce the game, then just don't talk about it for over a year. And then, yeah, we just sort of deal with it. And whatever happens to Overwatch is whatever happens to Overwatch. Because we feel like neglected fans of the game, really. Because we're just sitting here like, well, we know you're working on Overwatch 2, but you're not showing us anything. So are you actually working on it? Of course they are. I mean, that's ludicrous and a preposterous thing to say. We know they're working on it. But it's a question that needs to be asked, right? So speculating on what these external factors could have been, or forces that were pressurizing Blizzard into going, we are working on Overwatch 2. Look at what happened in 2018. Also, look at what happened in 2017. Now, if we ignore the new maps and the new heroes, there wasn't really much going on with the game. The seasonal events were the same. We all moaned about this, like, oh, it's the same seasonal event again. I play this event for 5 minutes and then I just don't bother coming back because it's the same again. All I'm interested in are the skins, and that's the same for most players. So it could have been a case that Blizzard had to say something like, guys, we are working on a new game and it is Overwatch 2. So this is what we've been doing with all of our time. So in that kind of example, we as the fans of the game go, oh, okay, fine. You've kind of not given us a lot of content over the last 2 years, but that's fine because you've been working on Overwatch 2 for 2 years, right? Or have they? Or did they just start work on Overwatch 2 in and around BlizzCon? You know, did they just have the demo for Rio de Janeiro and the new PvP mode, and that was it? And then they had nothing else? Like, if that was the case, I'm like, okay, I understand why you're quiet for a year. But also, they can't actually say that, can they? If you're Blizzard and you're making a game and you're like, hey guys, we're announcing it to almost deflect the lack of content of the last couple of years, when you actually haven't made much of Overwatch 2. I mean, this is all wild speculation, by the way, guys. This is me just running away with this. But, like, yeah, you can see that there's a problem there, right? There's conflicting viewpoints, which is super weird. Another funny thing which I found actually kind of hilarious is people saying that I've sold out to Blizzard. Now, I'm not sure if these people are aware. I have made loads of videos on Overwatch, and I'm not exactly the guy who sits there and goes, wow, everything is great. I will say if it's bad. And a lot of the time, I'll say it's bad, and people will be like, what the hell are you talking about, Sty? And then actually, oh yeah, Sty, that actually is bad. Then it gets changed. You know, stuff like that happens a lot. So I'm used to dealing with comments like that. That's totally fine. The thing is, though, I completely get the frustration. I have got the same frustration as you guys with Overwatch 2. I am a content creator. I want to make content. It is incredibly difficult to make a lot of content on Overwatch. Yeah, sure, it's not down to Blizzard to update the game all the time, to give me an opportunity to make a load of videos. That's not never and ever will be the case. I make stuff like Overanalyze, like Guess the Rank, all the other stuff that I make as well, focusing on the workshop. There's loads of stuff you can make on Overwatch, but it just comes down to the sort of having that fire, that feeling in your belly of like, yeah, I'm really enjoying this and I'm making content on this. Oh my god, look at this new thing. And I still get that with Overwatch. I got that when the Tracer event went live. I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. Like, this is great, new stuff, love the comic. It touches on some actually sensitive topics. I'm really liking that. Like the skin. Wow, this is a reason to, again, play Overwatch, because I don't think there's really a reason to play the game at the moment, which sounds weird. There is, because like, you can have fun, you can drop in, you can drop out. And I still play it every day. But I'm not playing it for hours and hours on end, right? I pop in, maybe have like a game of competitive. If I lose, I just don't bother again. I'll be like, okay, I'll come back later. I might mess around in the arcade a little bit, do something in quick play. That's kind of it, right? And I don't know, like, it is a bit of a frustrating place to be right now with Overwatch. So what I want you guys to say in the comments below is how you feel about Overwatch right now. I'm also really interested in what you think is the cause of Blizzard having to announce Overwatch 2 at BlizzCon. And also, do you think there could have been, and does that tie into like the fact that they didn't have a lot of content coming out the few years prior to that, especially when you consider launch Overwatch with all of its new stuff, you know, new seasonal events. I mean, can you guys remember that time? It was incredible. Like, I remember it was like, oh my God, there's summer games. What is this? This is incredible. And then the next event hits, and then the next event. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. We're trying to speculate about the events. There's loads of new skins. It's super cool. We've not had that for 4 years. So, yeah. Now, I suppose there is one saving grace in all of this. When Overwatch 2 does eventually start getting shown off by Blizzard, I'm hoping that what they do is hit us with a barrage of new animated shorts. They really go crazy on all the stuff. They show us everything, right? And suddenly, this vacuum of non-content we've had for a while is just filled and plugged with loads of Overwatch 2 content. But it is a difficult time right now for fans of Overwatch because you don't have much to look forward to because you don't know when the new stuff is coming out. You know there's no heroes coming out, which obviously doesn't feel great. And so, yeah, you're left in a scenario going, well, I hope Blizzard give us good stuff for Overwatch. But then the other negative to this is if Overwatch 2 does fall on its face, then it's going to be very difficult to sort of claw Overwatch back to the kind of place it used to be. And I think that's a worry for me as a fan of the game, and I'm sure it's a worry you guys have got as well. So thank you guys for listening to the video. Bit of a different one today. I wanted to have more of a, you know, like a structured sort of debate, discussion with you guys on the state of Overwatch right now and what Overwatch 2 could possibly do for the game. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next video. You can follow me on everything, which is @Stylosa, on Instagram, on Twitter, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.